Hello and good afternoon. Welcome to this week's episode of Creative Corner. Today we are going to be celebrating National Submarine Day by making a submarine diorama. So before we jump into our workshop, we're going to go over our supplies and then we'll go ahead and call it a day. Alright everyone, so for today's supplies, we are going to be utilizing some old shoe boxes, some toilet paper rolls, some recycled bottle caps, and I also used a recycled spice cap too as well. A pencil, some scissors. I have a kid-friendly scissors, and I'll show you why. And then a regular scissors, some wooden skewers, then some wooden dowels. And then this is the example I have. I'll show you how it works here in a minute. But with that, let's go ahead and get started. Before we get started with our workshop, I kind of wanted to show you how it works. So removing the submarine, we have the wooden skewers in the shoebox, and this isn't long enough, but you're going to rotate the dowels, and it's going to move the pictures. And I just selected any old ocean coloring page, and I printed out black and white, and then you have the option to color it yourself. So that way, by putting the submarine on top and moving the dowels, it looks like the submarine is moving forward. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. For the actual diorama, like I mentioned, we're using an old shoebox, and we're going to use some toilet paper rolls too as well. So when you do this, you want to make sure that the toilet paper roll isn't too far down, but also not too far up. So we're going to try our best to measure in the middle. And if you have an X-Acto knife, you can use an X-Acto knife. If you have a screwdriver, this could help too as well. But with your scissors, be very careful when you do that, because you don't want the hole too big. Otherwise, your skewer is not going to work properly. So you got to make sure to be careful with that. If not, I can always recycle the wooden dowels from the other one too as well, because they fit perfectly. And then I'm going to go ahead and take use the holes and punch them on the other side too as well. Alright, and then you'll just get your wooden dowels, and then make sure that you are able to go through both sides. And that's step one. Step two is that you're going to get your recycled caps and put it on your toilet paper rolls. And you're going to do the same thing what we did with the scissors and punch a hole through the middle of the cap. And if you want to secure it in the caps in place, what you can also do is get some hot glue and glue on the inside and then put your cap in, so that way it stays in place. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright everyone, so as I mentioned, I went ahead and punched a hole in the middle of the recycled bottle cap utilizing the scissors. You can use other things that are sharp, a screwdriver, X-Acto knife, but please, please, please be careful when you're doing these. So what I did was I placed the bottle cap in the top portion of the shoebox, grabbed my scissors, and then I just quickly went down on using some force from my other hand to punch the hole. And then once you got that done, all you have to do is just run the skewer in the hole that you made, and then what we're going to do is put the toilet paper roll on top of the bottle caps like I have on this one, so that way when you move the dowel, it rotates the toilet paper roll too as well. On the next part, like I mentioned, I went ahead and found an ocean coloring page, and you want to measure the width of your overall box. That's going to determine the width of your overall coloring page too as well. But with this coloring page, what I did was I measured it out. And once you have your diorama cutouts, what I went ahead and did was I'm going to splice the 2 pages together with a little bit of tape. But if you want it black and white like this, leave it as is. But if you want to color it, be sure to color it before you tape it, so that way it's not more. Let's just say that this is the inside of your box. What you'll do is you'll make sure that the paper is underneath your toilet paper rolls, and then you want this paper nice and snug against the rolls, so that way when you turn your toilet paper roll, it moves the diorama too. So let me go ahead and piece this together, and then we'll go ahead and come on back. Okay, everyone, so I moved the dowels, the caps, the toilet paper rolls into the shoebox itself. When you piece everything together, it's going to require a little bit of finagling, I think that's the term, to piece everything together. And then you'll have your paper too as well. So you want to make sure, like I mentioned, that it's kind of nice and tight against the toilet paper rolls. But then I'll go ahead and get some tape. So it should be, the paper itself should be nice and tight around the both paper towel, toilet paper rolls. So that way, when you turn, and the last thing we gotta do is go ahead and make our little submarine. So in order to do that, you'll need some yellow construction paper. And if you want, you can back this up with some cardstock too, so that way it's not so flimsy. Or use poster board too as well. But I went ahead and drew out my submarine utilizing just a regular old cartoon that I seen. And then what I went ahead and did was I recycled one of my spice caps too as well. Put the portholes on the sides and then cut out those portholes utilizing the smaller safety scissors, because the adult ones are going to be a little bit difficult to utilize to cut out the holes. But then once you're done, you can go ahead and get your shoebox, put your submarine on top, and then watch your diorama come to life as the submarine passes by all the aquatic life on its search for lost treasure, whatever it's trying to look for, new ocean life, exploring the deep too as well. And like I mentioned, it is up to you if you want to color your coloring pages before you tape them together. What the other things you can do with your submarine is decorate it too. So I don't know if you can see my outlines, but that's where the metal pieces get attached together. Then I have the little observation deck on the top too as well, and the portholes on the sides. But this is it for our submarine diorama. Thank you for joining me on this week's episode of Creative Corner. We went ahead and celebrated National Submarine Day by making a submarine diorama. If you are not following us on social media, be sure to do that. We have everything from Facebook to Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and much more. You can find our social media links available on the homepage of our website. Tune in next week for Creative Corner. And if you haven't already, be sure to pick up a calendar of events too as well. Thank you very much for hanging out with me this afternoon, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.